Welcome, everyone. We hope you've had a great spring so far, and it's great to be back in front of you today talking about the Jersey program at Select Sires. You've got Herbie Lutz coming from my home in Chester, South Carolina, and I'm joined today by Mark Boland again in Ohio at his home. He's got a lot prettier backdrop than I do today. You can tell his wife is into design.
Yeah, definitely not mine. I didn't do it, for sure.
But it's great to be here. We've got a lot to recap today. We've had a wonderful proof run on the Jersey proof side this week at Select Sires. And just want to bring you up to date and talk to you. And as always, if you have questions, please put them in the comment section. Or you can email or Facebook message us. We'll get back to you with answers, whichever's easiest for you. Well, Mark, we're going to jump right in. And just to start with, why don't you say a little something about our designations again, just to make sure everybody's familiar with them as we're going forward.
Yeah. So what Herbie's got on the screen right now is just the designations that you will find. If a bull hits each one of these, it will be shown in the directory on the website, listings, all sorts of stuff. But there's different ones. We have Fertility Pro for elite bulls that are getting cows pregnant. That specialize in that. Grazing Pro. Specialize in that grazing market. Robot Pro, just pretty self-explanatory. But I would like to point one out that I think you're going to see a lot more of this time is Mastitis Resistance Pro. We have a lot more bulls this time that are Mastitis Resistant Pro with the update from Zoetis on the Zoetis Mastitis, which is a good thing because we would think we went from 7 total bulls last time. I think we're up to 26 now with that Mastitis Resistant Pro logo. So just wanted to point that one specifically out.
Thanks, Mark. And we'll talk just a second about HHP dollars. It's herd health profit dollars. It's a index that we created at Select Sires a year ago in April. I believe was the first time we brought it to you for the Jersey breed. And Mark, it just takes a look at protein yield, somatic cell, mastitis resistance, some optimal intermediates for rear teat placement and teat length, but still wanting the fertility traits that we need and looking at some of the Zoetis data. So it's just it doesn't have the Zoetis data in it, but we look at the Zoetis data. But HHP has just the health traits that the Jersey breed really needs to focus on to try to keep the cow being the commercially viable option that she is, and we need her to continue to be. We've had a minor setback, Mark, in mastitis in the Jersey breed the last 10 years. So that was one of the reasons we brought this focus to the table.
Yeah, and I think the saying at that bottom of that screen, a better cow for a better future, is for sure what we were trying to do with this index. And we continue to use this index heavily on sire acquisition, mating, stuff like that. So it's just a tool that we use, but I think it's really hit the marketplace as well.
Oh, it has. And I think dairymen are really paying attention to these cows that are going to last as we have less heifers on farms because of the beef on dairy push, and along with having cows that last longer so you get that top milk flow to make your dairies more profitable. Mark, we got a beautiful directory cover this time. Just really excited how this came together. Jacqueline and the communications team do a tremendous job for us at Select Sires, and just really excited about these 2 cows. And I know you helped take the pictures, so you want to talk about them a minute?
Yeah, so these are 2 Thrasher daughters, that we took out in California here a couple weeks ago. I think this pretty much tells you how it is on this bull. They got plenty of width through that front end. They got deep rib height and width of the rear udder, deep creases. I mean, just love to do their job. They put milk in the tank. They breed back. They get better as lactation goes on. And I think these 2 just exemplify that. And we'll talk a little more about Thrasher as we go down through this presentation.
Mark, you put together some sorts for our program for the inside cover of the directory, and I thought it was really impressive, some of the data that you pulled together. We also have a scan me to talk more about HHP if you're looking for more information. But do you want to talk just a little about these sorts you did?
Yeah, so once we get our lineup set, both proven and young bulls, The communications team likes to put this little tidbit of information in this inside cover, and I think it exemplifies what our program has to offer, whether it be proven or genomic. 12 bulls over 100 for JPI and proven 49, which is a 13 bull jump for 130 JPI, and I actually upped that from 120 last time to 130. So I think just shows that our program's building, improving, and getting better. But just some traits that we broke down: JUI, DPR, cheese merit, and then the HHP that we just talked about. And then also the mastitis resistance pro having 7 proven bulls and 19 young bulls also. So.
And you see there, Mark, we had 5 new graduates. We're going to lead into talking about those first. So it was a big day for graduations in our Jersey program, and we graduated bulls right at the top of the list, and also a bull that we think is going to hit a lot of markets around the world for his balanced pedigree, deep pedigree. The first bull we're going to talk about, 7J1789, Chatham. He's an Enzo from the Lemonhead Carnival. She doesn't need any introduction in the program from our partners at Jerseyland Sires, developed through their Primus program, which is their female program. And this bull comes in as the number 2 JPI bull in the breed, but the number 1 cheese merit bull in the breed, number 1 for net merit, number 1 for fluid merit. He's number 5 for milk pounds at 1870. He's number 5 for fat at 83 pound of fat. He's a bull that's a nice DWP bull. He has an HHP dollars of 893. He's a number 2 productive life bull in the breed, and he's a bull that goes back to a 2-time national grand champion in circus. So we've got production on top of a show-winning family mark. It's a pretty neat scenario with this bull.
Yeah, and then also like to point out, like as we talked about those designations at the top, this bull's feed pro, and then he hits that robot pro designation as well. So he does really do a lot of things, whether it be for one spectrum or another. There's something that this bull has to offer for everybody.
Yeah, and he was a whole collect bull last time, meaning we knew his preliminary data looked really good. And boy, 128 daughters and 22 herds, it really moved him to the top because of his yield deviations and the way things look for the bull. They are production. We saw this daughter at Red Top Mark when we were there the 1st of March. Just a real dairy cow.
Yep, and I think we'll see more of this as time goes on. We'll actually see some more in a week here in California when we go back out there. But just looking forward to these daughters keep calving in and putting more into this bull's proof.
Well, Mark, tell us about a bull you brought into the program from Pine Tree.
Yeah, so this is 7JE 1792 Navidad, a chrome son from a 93-point World Cup that Steiners had recently told me just calved in for the 4th time and is doing excellent, looks amazing. So looking forward to getting over there to see her sometime here in the near future. But a bull that was a pretty decent popular young bull when he was in the G-Force lineup. And he's made it to the proven ranks, and I think his daughters are really starting to show what they can do, both production-wise, components, type, all the above. But this bull comes to us at 144 JPI. That puts him at 8th on the proven ranks. He's the number 3 bull for fat, number 2 for protein, and number 6 for milk. So as I said, this bull is putting a lot of components and production in the tank. He's number 8 for cheese merit and net merit, 10th for fluid merit, and number 4 for dairy form. And I think that dairy form pulls through truly being a chrome son. The big flat bone dairy cows that you see on the chromes, I pull them through on this son of his. But he's 144 JPI, 663 cheese merit, 1764 milk on 158 CFP and plus percents. I think that just tells you what this bull can do. Just looking forward to seeing more of his daughters as we go traveling around. But I think these 3 exemplify what they are. Flat dairy bone, have enough strength through their front end, height and width, the rear udder, and deep crease to go with it.
And Mark, correct me if I'm wrong, but that Navidad there at Victory in the middle of the screen, I'm pretty sure
she was 20 days fresh.
Yeah, she was less than 3 weeks fresh when we took that picture.
And then she went 85 a week later. So
yeah, tremendous young cows, good uddered, deep creases. Everything's really right on this bull, and it's exciting. I mean, a bull that's got 244 daughters and 32 herds, so he's doing things the right way.
Mhm.
The next bull we're going to talk about is Cardiff. He's the Fournette son out of Carnival, so he's a maternal brother to Chatham, the bull we led with. This bull's the number 10 bull in the breed for JPI at 142, almost 1,100 pounds of milk. This bull's got a great somatic cell. He's plus for mastitis. He's 766 for HHP dollars. He's a bull, back to the two-time national grand champion, and a little different. He's 15.3 on JUI. You see his dam pictured here on the page, developed by Jersey Land and Primus. And she's a cow that you'll see on a lot of slides today, Mark. She's going to have a big part of our program in the future. And we're certainly glad to get a graduate that's already got right at 100 daughters in his proof, because we've got a lot of young bulls coming out of this cow family.
Yeah, I think him and his brother really complement each other. They kind of do two different things, one being higher JUI than the other, but two balanced bulls, maternal brothers that you'd like to bring into the lineup. And like you said, it goes back to a national grand champion. So it's very rare and unique to have these two bulls, including this one right here, in our lineup.
Mark, tell us about Heist.
So yeah, this is another bull that was brought in by our Jersey Lane partners. He's Amp son, and it's 7JE 1788 Heist. He's an Amp from a Harris from a Legal at Allen Farms out there in Hillmar, California. He comes in at number 12 for JPI, 10 for Cheese Merit at 637 Cheese, and number 11 for Net Merit. Bull that's also almost 1,000 pounds of milk, over 110 CFP, and plus percents, 285 cell. Just a bull that I think complements what Jersey Lane's been breeding for, and I think it's starting to really show through. He's 12.9 JUI, 609 HHP, A2, and just the one daughter photo, but I think we'll see more, and we'll get more as we get on, but I think this one really shows what this bull can do, and the height and width to the top of that rear udder, if you can see from the side. Youthful mammary system. Just, I think we're going to see a lot more of this bull as he adds daughters to his proof.
Yeah, and there's some really neat bulls back behind him with Legal and Jimmy and Boventure Daniel and Diamond and Great Magic, all very good dams or excellent. So I think it's a deep pedigree. It's great to see another one, deeper pedigreed bull graduate into the lineup. Bull I get to talk about next is a bull that might not rank at the top of the JPI or the Cheese Merit list, but he's got a pedigree and making great daughters. And he's the kind that you'd like to get up and milk every day when you look at these daughter pictures around on this bull page, Mark. He's the Disco son, out of the 91 Premier daughter, out of the 95-point Paramount Joy, then the 92-point First Prize. He was proven in our Generations lineup, 250 JE, 1778. So a lot of daughters in Canada. That's where this bull was proven. And I just have loved the daughter pictures that we've gotten on him. A bull that's balanced on rear udder height and width, a bull that's got some dairy form to him, just a bar chart to the right for the most part, and balanced. And a lot of things that some show animals, he's a showcase selection logo here, that they need. The mastitis is great. Below 3 somatic cell, plus DPR. Just a lot of things that you like to see, Mark. And these daughters, got to see Andrew last week, and we've talked about this Joel and Munchkin, just a super young cow. And then these other ones on the right here, just tremendous udders and openness.
Yeah, and I think as we get more, as we say, I think these daughters are just going to be spitting images of each other. You got that deep crease, the height, the width, the rear udder, dairy frame. Which is all a part of the reason why we made this bull showcase. He wasn't really marked showcase before, but we thought he fit the profile now, so we went ahead and made him showcase selections and was a great addition to that group.
Well, Mark, while you were talking, our good friend Francois Vermette sent us a comment and said they just had 2 very good 86 Jolins last week that I didn't even know about. I appreciate Francois chiming in here. But I just love this picture from Sleegers. You saw the one daughter pictured on the bottom right, but boy, these 3 cows, Mark, what an impressive group of young cows to go to the barn and look at every day.
Yeah, I think this is a pretty uniform group. I mean, look at the width of the rump, the height and width of the rear udder, the teat placement. Um, just very, very unique opportunity here. And I think it's going to get better as time goes on.
And we try to have something for everybody. This bull, fully HR, deep pedigree, just a great opportunity to bring Joel into our lineup. We're going to move on to the other active proven bulls that we have, some highlights. And Mark, take us away with the number one bull.
Well, I don't think he really needs too much of an introduction. I think everyone knows who this bull is, but that's 7JE 1758 Thrasher. Comes from the Jersey Land Partners. This bull, like I said, needs no introduction. The Pilgrim son from a Viceroy, then the Solio. But number one bull in the breed for JPI at 198. He's 19.99 of milk, 160 combined fat and protein, 1.8 DPR, 2.8 somatic cells. So, I mean, this bull gets better with age. That JUI keeps going up. He's now at just a tick under -1, but I think that was cut in half, if not more, than last time. But the number one bull for JPI, the number 3 bull for cheese, number 1 protein pound bull, number 6 fat, number 1 CFP, and the number 1 strength bull. That's what I think this bull does best in any herd that we've seen. He adds strength, and he adds it in a hurry. They got width through that front end and carry that width from all the way back through the rump. Daughters are deep. Udders are well attached, and plenty of milk flow through those. So I think just a bull that keeps getting better with age. He's now over 2,600 daughters in his proof and 91 herds. So, I mean, I don't know what else you need to add, Herbie, but I think this bull pretty much checks it all and does it right.
He does. He's done a lot of things right. We've continued to like him all along the way. We saw him fresh a year ago is when we saw the first ones. And
we did see a second calver. I forgot about her.
Yeah.
We were out there at the beginning of March in California at Dupat. There was a second calf, actually be a full sister to Callan, I believe, and Crispin and all those guys. But, yeah, they're starting to calve, second calf, doing great things. This bull also is positive SCR. 974 HHP and 1015 DWP. So, I mean, he's right above. He's in the elite rankings for pretty much everything you can think of.
The next bull I'm going to talk about is a graduate from December, 7J 1787, and he had a great day. Caliban. Caliban doesn't need an introduction. He's been selling from the time he was a young sire. He's the HR Viceroy son, back to circus. Not quite as high as some of the ones that graduated this time, but a bull that just makes the balanced right kind, Mark. He jumped up. He was the number 3 increase bull for JPI in the breed this time. He's up to 127 JPI. Great somatic cell, great DPR at 1.6, 9 on JUI. He settles cows. His SCR is great. He was a great sexed fertility bull. You can see that by the logo at the top of the page, the Elite Sex Fertility with that designation. He's Robot Pro, he's Feed Pro, he's Graze Pro. Not a lot you can say that we don't know about this bull with over 1,000 daughters in his proof.
Yeah, and I think he just is going to keep trending upwards. I mean, he made a big jump this time, but the farther out lactation you see these daughters, the better off they are. So don't judge them too soon, because the farther they get out there, the better they are for sure.
And this group of daughters up at Schulman's in Ontario, just a tremendous group of cows. Been a few years since I've made it to Paul's Place. Nice, beautiful robot, tidy facility. And these cows, this is what you find in the U.S. and in Canada, obviously. Just a great group of youthful uddered production cows. Mark, tell us about another bull that had a good day that graduated in December.
Yeah, excuse me. Another bull that had a good day on top of Caliban is 7JE 1769 Archie. Used to be the very, very popular young bull, former number 1 young bull in the breed. But I think this bull, to go on top of his pedigree, had a great day. He's now 119 for JPI, 512 for cheese merit. 859 of milk, 92 CFP on plus percents, over 100 daughters in his proof now, 8-2 JUI, A2, but he isn't. I would like to point out he is the number 6 bull for somatic cell score. So amongst all proven bulls, they're low somatic cells, plenty of production, and look good doing it. But just a bull that I think continues to add data and trends upwards, and we hope he keeps heading that way.
And Mark, these 2 daughters at Victory, when we took those, just super uttered, lots of width to them. Cows that you think will mature into great cows in the future.
Yeah, and I think that's what you're seeing, not just in those 2, but the other 3 we had pictured previously on the screen.
The next bull I get to talk about is Kestrel, the number 1 milk bull in the breed at 28-22. He is polled, 7J1630. He's a Comanche son. His dam's a very good 85-point cow, bull that's 122 CFP. He's a bull that just continues to dominate the milk chart. They make a lot of milk, Mark. And these daughters, you've seen them now. We've pictured several of them. We've seen them second lactation, and they've matured well. Udders are still right where they were. So yeah, his udder depth is a little deep as a 2-year-old, but I don't see it going anywhere as he gets older, Mark.
No, and I've seen him. I think we've seen them almost the end of their second lactation, and their udders just hold there. They don't go anywhere. They still hold that height and width to the rear udder and plenty of flow through those cows. And I think 2,800 pounds of milk is truly believable in this bull if you see his daughters.
I do too.
The next bull we got, 7JE1726 Starlord, had a really good day. This bull is now $1,800 in his milk proof and almost 100 herds. He's 138 JPI, 626 cheese merit dollars, 603 of milk, 51 pounds of fat, 1.9 DPR, and 10 JUI. Positive 0.9 SCR. Just a bull that I think continues to improve. The Craze son from the P-Flex and then a determinant, but this bull is the number 3 for productive life amongst proven bulls at 5.7. And I think these daughters are just going to keep continuing to calve in lactation after lactation and continue to do good things.
Mark, this bull, I keep getting calls from all over, get some Facebook messages from Australia, how much they like them in the grazing operations there. Bradley Taylor from our friend down in Mississippi sent me a couple snapshots of udders in the barn the other week, 3 different Starlord daughters. He just really likes them. They're the right kind. That's what I like to see.
I think if you look at his bar chart for his udder traits down there at the bottom of the screen, it really shows what his daughters do. They got height and width, strong forward attachments, deep cleft. Just checks a lot of boxes and balanced to go with it.
I agree. A great bull to have in our program. And I think one you'll hear a lot of for a long time. The next bull we're going to talk about is 7J1699 Pine. Pine's a Frisco son out of an 87-point dimension, then an action, a bull that's been around for a long time. And look, got 4,000 daughters in his proof now. Just a balanced bull, makes the right kind. People love the daughters that are milking them. They're tall, they have strength to them, they have shallow udders. Everything's right. He's 816 DWP. He's a bull that's still 2.0 on DPR, so they breed back. And he's 78 CFP. He got nice components at 0.12 and 0.09 for protein. Just a real balanced bull, Mark.
Yeah, the more I see these daughters, the more I fall in love with them. I think since proofs, I think the top, well, this photo too, but the one in the top right was recently taken, and then you took this one, which is above average for your photography skills.
I can't take pictures. Never claimed to.
No, but I think this just shows whether he's in domestic use here in the U.S. or around the world, he just does the same thing. Venation on the mammary, height and width the rear udder, carries that udder high above the hocks, and this strong forward attachments. I think this bull is a bull that just keeps improving every daughter that calves in.
Yep. And hey, Mark, we got a hello from Pablo in Costa Rica that uses our products. We're certainly glad that you're tuned in listening to our update today, Pablo. Mark, tell us about Stony.
Well, this is a bull that I think has been in the lineup. I don't know how long now, but he keeps throwing positive things our way. This is 14 JE 769 Stoney, the Marlowe son from the 90-point All-Star. He's 131 JPI. He's number 7 productive life bull at 5.4. He's 675 HHP. Yes, he is negative milk, but when you have negative milk and 90 pounds of CFP on those percents at 0.33 fat and 0.11 protein, I think that's a real outlier in the Jersey breed. 291 cell, positive mastitis and for CDCB, and 102 for zoetis mastitis, so he's that mastitis resistance pro. Daughters, the older they get, the better they are, in my opinion. He's fertile at 1.6 SCR, 9.4 JUI. I think just a bull that has the pedigree, the performance, and the provenness to continue to add to this lineup, and I think he's going to keep doing that for a long time.
Yeah, Mark, I agree. He's a bull that has been around, but he's got a great deep pedigree, 6 very good or excellent dams, I'm pretty sure, behind this bull. Just a great addition, and I'm glad to see Zoetis finally figured out they had some issues with their data. This bull was a big recipient. He went from 67 Zoetis mastitis to 102. The average increase was 0.7. They had some data issues with the way they were doing it, but they realized it, and I think we can really trust and validated their data a lot better with this correction, Mark.
Yeah, I'd say this bull was the winner of the day in that edit formula. So.
Most definitely. Well, we're going to move to some genomic bulls, and James Johnston, the Holstein video starts at noon. We know we're just a warm-up band for the Holstein guys, and we sure hope you'll tune in at noon for the Holstein update as well. But we're going to move on into some Jersey genomic highlights. The first one we're going to talk about, we discussed Thrasher earlier, and we're going to start with Thrasher Sons. 7J2000 Monster P. He is the Thrasher out of a Listowel, out of a McKenzie from the Junio family, Ryan Junio and his dad out in Pixley, California. He comes in at 184 JPI today, 1187 a milk, 151 CFP, great somatic cell at 2.85, 0.5 DPR. Look at his DWP, 1,047. A2, everything's right on this bull. He does carry the pole gene, as you can see up top. He's a bull that we're certainly glad to have. He's a sire father. We have sons of him in stud already, and just a bull that continues to shine at the top of the list.
The next bull that I made reference to earlier, when we seen this bull's full sister calf for the second time, is 7JE 1956 Callan from the Primus program at Jerseyland. The Thrasher from the 4net that we said you'd see a lot of through this presentation, and you'll see a lot more of her after this. Just a bull that continues to improve as Thrasher does himself. He's 176 JPI, 748 cheese, 940 HHP. He'd be the number 5 bull in the breed for JPI. He's 1508 of milk, 98 CFP, 2.1 DPR on 283 somatic cell. He's 12.3 JUI. So he'd be a top 15 DPR bull and the number 4 productive life bull in the young bull list at 6.6, 952 DWP. His Zoetis traits across the board are all over pretty much 100, which is very, very impressive. And look at the calf wellness trait dollars, 119. He's over 114 for livability, 105 for scourge, and 103 for respiratory. So a bull that I think does a lot of things. He's also a mastitis resistant pro. Goes back to a national grand champion, as we talked about before, Herbie.
Yeah, great bull, great pedigree. Got a couple of people that have reached out online. One of them's used Lemonhead and Chrome, Mark. Certainly glad and happy that they are using our products. And then Max asked for it to be in Spanish. I have a hard enough time with English, so I won't be the one doing that.
I don't think that would be either of us.
We'll see what the communications and marketing teams can pull off in the future. But yeah, my Spanish would not be very good. The next Thrasher son I get to talk about is 7JE 1928 Nicholas from our partner at Victory Farms out in Kevin Susan family out in South Dakota. He's a bull that comes in at 174 JPI, so he's top 10 in the breed for JPI. He's a bull that's 741 cheese merit, 153 CFP, bull that's 969 DWP. And he does some things you really like. Look at his strength at 1.4 while still having dairiness at 1.6. He's a bull that's a sire father. We've had some sons of him in the program already. There's some high daughters out there. He carries that Grays Pro logo. Just a bull that does a lot of things right, Mark.
Yeah, and the photo up in the right-hand corner, I mean, she's later lactation now, but she still looks as good as she did then in that photo, by the way. The next
really
bull,
nice, yeah.
I was going to say, oh, you're good.
Go ahead, Mark, on Crispin.
Okay, the next one is 14JE 1921. It'd be a full brother to the Callan bull that we talked about earlier in the same photo up there in the right-hand corner. This bull's 171 JPI, 735 cheese, 864 HHP, 1,246 pounds of milk on 119 CFP, 2.3 DPR. Just an outlier for production and that high DPR, positive 4.6 JUI, 960 DWP. So just a bull like his brother, just checks a lot of boxes, does a lot of things, and will continue to improve as we get more data as we go, and looking forward to getting daughters of these bulls coming forward.
Yeah, pretty exciting. These Thrasher sons, I mean, we've got a lot of them, but I think with his rank and what he's proven with his daughters, we needed a lot of them, Mark.
Yep.
You want to tell us about Volant?
Yeah, sure. Another Thrasher son. There's going to be a lot of those, so bear with us. With 14JE 2002 Volant from the Valsigna herd out in California. He's a Thrasher from an 85-point Steve and then a Perform. Another Thrasher over 170 JPI, and this one being 172. 749 cheese merit, 1354 of milk, 129 CFP, 50 productive life, positive DPR, 858 HHP, positive JUI, 1,017 for DWP, and a 1.6 SCR. A really balanced bull for production, health traits, all the above, and he's A2 on top of it. Checks a lot of those designations boxes up there at the top of the screen.
Yeah, and his calf livability numbers and scours and respiratory from Zoetis is off the charts. Pretty amazing to see 111 calf livability. Wildwood's the next Thrasher son that I get to talk about, 14J 1952. He's another Jersey Land sires bred at Dupet jerseys. He's out of a very good Got Made, then a very good Fearless. He's 159 JPI, but he's unique in the fact he's 2102 of milk and 151 CFP. He's a bull that still has 3.5 on his productive life. He's a bull that's 905 DWP, 5.1 JUI. Just a bull that checks a lot of boxes, and you can believe that 2,100 pounds of milk, Mark, when you look at his dam, who is a 3-year-old, actually in 305, gave over 26,000 pounds of milk, almost 1,400 pounds of fat, and over 1,000 of protein. A lot of flow in this family.
And I did a little sort, and I forgot. I didn't share it with you. I'm not going to lie. But this bull would be the number 4 milk bull, number 9 for CFP, and that's 75 pounds of protein, put it at number 1 in the active young bull list. Just wanted to add that to it. And like you said, it's believable when you see that true production record on that dam.
Exactly. Appreciate that. That was good information, Mark. Midway.
So 7JE 5078 Midway. I think a bull that we've talked about quite frequently, and he continues to trend upwards as Thrasher goes. The dam picture there at the right of your screen, the 91-point Mackenzie at River Valley. And then it goes back to the Jersey Boys herd, I believe, if I'm correct. This bull's 171 JPI. That would put him amongst the tops. He's 1,082 of milk on 135 CFP, 285 cell, 823 HHP, Feed Pro, Robot Pro, 47 JUI, and 1,037 DWP. Just a bull that I think does a lot of things, has a great pedigree to go with it, and I think he'd be in the top 15 for JPI based off what I was looking at earlier, Kirby.
Yeah, this bull's just got such a deep pedigree, and that Listowel Dam that's pictured over there, just a tremendous cow. Then the Mackenzie that they purchased from Jersey Boys Ranch out in California through the All-American sale. Just a real balanced pedigree from our friends at River Valley. Next Thrasher son,
I think you went backwards.
I think we're wrong way. Let's go with L's. That's the one it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
A Thrasher son out of Pogba Suzanne from Victory Farms, Kevin Susan family. Pogba Suzanne's pictured there on the right of the page. $11.95 a milk, 136 CFP, 2.89 somatic, 3.3 JUI. Just a real balanced bull that's done a lot of things right and has continued to climb, Mark. This bull had a really big day and jumped up real nicely to 169 JPI.
Yeah, and that slid him into the top 20 of the breed. I just would like to point that out as well.
Yeah, top 20 bull, carries that Graze Pro logo, the Robot Pro, Feed Pro. Just economically balanced bull that we're certainly glad to have in our program, and one that's probably been missed by a lot of breeders out there. Mark Kamikaze, he's the man.
So we're going to continue on the Thrasher trend, but this one's a little different, being out of a 95-point Valentino. Back to the excellent pedigree from Yosemite out there in California. This bull is actually 127 JPI, 1293 a milk, and 98 CFP. But his outlier at 10.9 JUI for a Thrasher son is just remarkable. You don't see that high of Thrasher sons with JUIs with that number, but this bull does it. He's fertile at 0.9 SCR, 700 HHP, low somatic cell at 276. Just a bull that I think have sold quite a bit. I think they're continuing to sell, and I think we're starting to get calves on the ground from what I've heard across a couple herds across the country.
Yeah, and I've heard they're pretty fancy calves, is what we were expecting when this bull came in from Jersey land. We're certainly glad the Boers took the chance and bred this cow, this Valentino, because we all love this Valentino and her Kokomo Dam for that matter. Mm-hmm. Tremendous deep pedigree. The next one I'm going to talk about is Seismic PP. We're finally off of the Thrasher sons, and he's a Dimitri P son. Mark, we actually have pictured a Dimitri P. He didn't have any daughters in his proof, but we have one already pictured in our photo library I saw.
Oh, she's sporty too.
Oh, she's pretty
very
good.
Sporty.
Yeah, I like the few we saw out in California the 1st of March that were milking. And I mean, it's believable on this bull. He is PP. He does carry 2 haplotypes. We need to point that out. He's JH1 and JNS. Before a homozygous pole bull to be 574 milk, 62 pounds of fat, 0.16 fat, and 0.05 protein. He's a bull that does a lot of things right. Nice cheese merit at 748, 22 JUI. Unbelievable. 3.5 on his fore udder, 2.7 on rear udder height, and shallow 3.8 on udder depth. And his dam pictured second lactation up there. We saw her in March. Just a wonderful young cow.
Oh, yeah, very impressive individual herself. But that 22 JUI does put him as number 2 if you sort the young bulls list. So just a really unique opportunity here with the bull that's pulled, homozygous pulled, that high JUI. Just a really, really unique opportunity on this bull.
And he carries that Mastitis Resistance Pro logo plus, or designation, plus he carries the calf wellness dollars and calf wellness traits from Zoetis. Just unbelievably high. Really excited about this bull. We've used him as a sire father as well, and he is available sexed only.
The next one we're going to talk about is a Watkins son from the Fournette that you've seen in numerous pictures before. 614 JE, 2107 Cabal, 157 JPI, 739 cheese merit, 900 pounds of milk, 79 CFP, low somatic cell at 281. The number 1 productive life bull in the breed at 8.2. He's positive 1.2 DPR. Carries that Mastitis Resistance Pro at being 1.4 CDCB mastitis and 106 Zoetis mastitis. With the 12 JUI to go over on top of it, I think a bull that just is a little different, being a Watkins son, but balanced all the way through, and I think he's going to do a lot of great things.
Yeah, I do too. He's a bull that we're using as a sire father because of some of the traits he brings to the table, and I'm excited about that. And I love the pedigree he has. We've got several bulls from this pedigree, as you've mentioned, and we've talked about, Mark.
Mm-hmm.
I get to talk about another bull that's been a highlight for our JART program in partnership with Buster Goff and Beverly. They're pictured in the middle of the screen, and that's 7JE 1930 Dab P. He is a Listowel son out of the 93-point disco pictured there. That's her third lactation picture, Mark. You took it last November, I believe.
It was a little cold.
And she's a cow that has just matured so well. You see her earlier picture in the bottom right. And Dabo, he's been talked about a lot. He's polled. He's 149 JPI today. Great for health traits, 1.2 for mastitis, 107 for Zoetis mastitis, and big DWP bull, 754 HHP, plus for DPR. It's things that you talk about, great calf livability, things that we are all trying to push the breed forward for. But he still brings 829 pounds of milk to the table. And Mark, this cow family, we went out there last fall, and I believe we took, was it 11 or 12 daughter pictures?
We took 12 total, and 11 of them were her daughters.
And by about 7 or 8 or 9 different bulls. It wasn't like.
It's spreading the wealth. That's not all just one bull, by the way. There's 7 or 8 different sires that we did daughters out of this cow on.
And this is another branch that goes back to Circus, a 2-time national grand champion. I just think it's great when we can put production with show winning type and do some things right and make something that'll have an impact on the breed. And we certainly are honored and privileged that Buster and Beverly worked with us to make this happen. Mark, you want to talk about his brother?
Yep, and a bull that I think me and you are really high on, have been high on. He was taken off the list, and we put him back on because he had a big day, being a Navidad son. But this is 14JE 1969 Jake, the Navidad from the 93-point disco that Herbie just got done talking about. But this bull's 154 JPI, 663 cheese, 769 HHP, 500 pounds of milk, 0.16 fat, 0.1 protein, so 100 CFP on over or plus percents. Nice somatic cell, positive DPR, 6.9 JUI. Just I think about as balanced of a bull as you can get it. Nice bar chart to the right there. 828 DWP, A2 with the pedigree to go with it. I think a bull that I think we really need to just take a look at, evaluate, and I think he can do a lot of things for people.
Mark, we worked this disco back a few years ago because of her health traits. You put Navidad on it, a big flow bull that we found out has more flow now that he has milk and daughters. And 100 CFP on 500 pounds of milk is pretty impressive. That's a pretty dense product.
Oh, yeah.
And he carries the Graze Pro and the Mastitis Resistance Pro designations.
I also would like to point out, sorry, you jumped ahead, but he also is on the number 9 LPI list up in Canada. So
yeah,
he does it north and south of the border.
And a bull that we just haven't been successful getting people to utilize. I wish we had. A new release, it's sexed only, that I get to talk about, 614JE 2078, Happy P. He is a Goals P son, out of a Steve, out of a Craze. From Victory Farms out in South Dakota, 154 JPI on a polled bull, 956 DWP, a bull that has great calf traits, 97 calf wellness dollars, 112 calf livability. A2. Back to Craze Annika is the Grandam. We talked about her a little earlier. Just a great cow, 122 CFP. And carries a lot of the designations at the top of the slide. Mark, how about Windsor?
Another bull that we added to the lineup the other day, being a Navidad son. We liked the bull before, but he really like him now that he had a big uptick being a Navidad son. Is 7JE 2019 Windsor. Navidad from a Got Made, and then a Divine from the DeGroot family out in California. 156 JPI, 713 cheese, 1,240 pounds of milk, plus percents on 155 CFP. That is our highest CFP bullet amongst our young list, and that would put him at number 6 in the breed on the young list as well. Just a bull that has a lot of flow, from a good balanced pedigree. 111 DWP bull. Just outstanding DWP bull, A2. I think a bull that I think a lot of people will catch just because of that production and balance across the board.
Yeah, he's a bull that we haven't caught on in the market, but he's Robot Pro, and that flow and those calf wellness traits, he does a lot of things right that needs to be paid attention to. The next bull I get to talk about is Shazam, 507J 2098. Anybody used to watch the old Goomer Pile knows where Tyler came up with that name. But anyway, he is from Jerseyland Sires, 161 JPI. He is a Sancho son out of a very good souvenir. 859 cheese merit, 1066 DWP. A bull that's got great dairy form, rear udder height and width at 1.7. Things you like on this sire father, plus another bull with great calf wellness.
Number 2 cheese merit bull on the young breed list.
Yeah, number 2. I agree, Brad Barham. Mark Boland's got the sorts going on today. It's great to see, but he's a bull that's been at the top for a while. Not as quite as high JPI this time, but his cheese merit has really stuck right there. Mark, tell us about another bull you brought in.
Yeah, bull that's been on our sex lineup, and we left him on this round as well, is 507JE 2112 Boogeyman. From Eric Havens, bred not too far from where I'm actually sitting right now. From an 85-point chief, then a viceroy, but there's 17 generations of very good and excellent behind this bull. Goes back through the pine tree breeding and beyond that, but just a great group of breeders in this pedigree. And obviously, being 17 generations of very good and excellent is really outstanding as well. This bull's 144 JPI, 696 cheese merit, 1369 of milk, 107 CFP, 55 pounds of fat pounds of protein is pretty outstanding. A bull that's 12-1 JUI, pretty good on his mastitis or zoetis traits. Sorry, A2, just a bull that I think checks a lot of boxes and puts a lot of flow in through your cows.
A lot of depth of pedigree there, and it's pretty neat. You know, Eric Havens, Brookview, it's where Tony Charity was bred, a Holstein guy. It's got a few jerseys in the barn now, Mark. It's always good to see.
Everyone needs a jersey.
I'm going to talk about a bull that we got out of the Eastern Shore of Maryland from Andy and Valerie Mason. Yuri, 614JE 2114, sexed only, Yuri. He's 155 JPI today, 121 CFP, a bull that is 1,000 DWP dollars, a bull that has those great calf wellness traits. He's 120 calf wellness dollars, 112 for calf livability. Excellent dairy form, height and width the rear udder, 2.9 and 1.9. Just a bull that's really exciting. Tucker will start having daughters calve this summer. So looking forward to seeing what they do. But another Tucker son that I am certainly glad we have in the program from the Mason family. Mark, tell us about Geppetto.
Yeah, 7J 1985 Geppetto, come from Allin Partnership out in California. He's a gifted son from an 83-point Viceroy, then a Lexicon. Has made a lot of high calves across the U.S. He's 155 JPI, 765 cheese, 753 of milk on 110 CFP plus percents, positive 0.5 DPR, 985 DWP, wellness trait dollars 102, calf wellness 111. So I think he checks a lot of boxes. Clearly he does with having that many designations at the top of the screen. But a bull we just released to conventional semen in the market, I believe. I think he's going to keep doing good things. His daughters are getting genomic tests back and looking really good. And I think a bull that we look forward to getting daughters to work out of here shortly, I hope.
Well, and Mark, we've got some sons that just got to select, and there's one over 190 that's by Geppetto from our friends at Jersey Land and Partners. I just think he's a bull that's getting started. And you're going to see a lot of high stuff coming out of him. I'm pretty sure we've got 3 or 4 Geppetto sons that'll be in the top 20 of the breed eventually. So pretty happy that this bull's at Select Sires. Next bull I get to talk about is the Sturgis 507JE2099 Wagner, a Sturgis son out of Oakland. Mark, that was a hot day when we took that picture.
When you got to go out at 5 and you're done by 9 in Mississippi because you can't clip no more, that's when it's hot.
It was hot. 146 JPI. This bull's 1134 milk, 105 CFP, 864 DWP, right at 10 on JUI. Sturgis is a Dashel son, A2A2. So a different pedigree. I think the only Sturgis son we have in stud, Mark. He's A2A2. Sturgis was A1, A2, so it was really good to get one son to bring in, and I think he's very validated that he needs to be part of the program. Mark, tell us about another great Mississippi bull in overalls.
So this is 7JE 2022 overalls. He's a Caliban from the Chrome there, pictured at the right of your screen. That's Steve Raleigh's in Mississippi, as he said. He's 136 JPI. 548 G, 667 HHP. Just a balanced bull all around. Just a tick under 500 pounds of milk with plus percents and 84 pounds of CFP. 282 cell, 42 productive life, 12 DPR, 15-1 JUI. And look at that bar chart. Height to width at 2.3 and 2.4 rear udder. Deep udder cleft, shallow udders, positive somatic or SCR. Just a bull that I think sells because he's balanced, and I think this is a true testament of balanced bulls sell, and it shows surely here in this one.
Well, and it helps with that elite sex fertility designation at the top too. So his sex semen is fertile, and that shows in a big way. And Caliban had a great day. We figured we ought to include this bull because of that situation. Next bull I get to talk about is 7J2102 First Cut. You want to talk about a pedigree. Hole in one out of a 93-point Fearless. You love the Fearless cow developed there at Wickstrom, Jersey's pictured on the right. They just had a sale celebrating their 50 years breeding Jersey cows. And what a tremendous family, both people and cows, they are, Mark. And this bull, he's not the highest. He's 110 JPI. But that 93-point dam's pretty special. 75 CFP, balanced across the board, 12-2 JUI. And Mark, about the only reason he doesn't have that elite sex fertility logo is because he just doesn't have enough services yet. He has settled really well sexed.
I'd say by August he's going to have it.
I do too.
I don't like to make statements like that, but I'll stand by that one.
And we didn't have hole in one in the presentation today, but hole in one, I've gotten pictures from about 5 of them fresh now. People are really happy with the udders on them. Looking forward to seeing what he does in August. I just think it's a really interesting bull that's out there with some great fertility. First cut, make sure you pay attention to him. Mark, tell us about that.
I think he's got a brother that's coming soon that was syndicated in the All-American Herd.
He does. First Cut has a brother named Fear Not that the syndicate members, hopefully the semen, he'll have enough of it or have all his semen made for the syndicate members by the 1st of May. I think is where we're at on that bull. So looking forward to having him out as well. That 93-point Fearless, I think you're going to hear a lot about her in the future. Neat thing about her, there was 3 or 4 generations still milking on the farm at Dupat at one time. And there's 3 generations, I'm pretty sure, still there. So pretty impressive group of cows. And all with over 100,000 pounds of milk for 4 generations. Mark, tell us about a couple showcase bulls that we've had come out.
Yeah. So recent months, we've had a couple showcase bulls come out. The first one we're going to talk about is 7JE 2120 Big Red. He's a Bancroft son, so a little different type pedigree here, but from a 93-point Lexicon Rondo that was second at the World Dairy Expo in, I think, 14 it was. But a bull that we think fits the showcase designation, but a bull that's positive for milk and production. 313 of milk, 34 CFP on the showcase bulls. You're not going to find that very much at all. But 296 cell, positive mastitis, 15.4 JUI with a very good bar chart that you see there at the bottom of the screen. Just deep pedigree, different. We thought it fit the logo of that showcase logo pretty well. This bull also is mastitis resistance, bro. So just a bull that I think is a little different amongst the show families that we have out there right now. So something different to add to the pedigree.
Well, and Mark, you see how this cow aged from her bottom 2-year-old picture to third lactation, I think, or 4-year-old picture. Just a beautiful open rib dairy cow with a calf wellness is pretty high. 110 calf scours, 103 calf respiratory, and a beautiful bar chart. So really excited about this bull in our program. Bancroft made some daughters that people liked all over the country. Just a great pedigree to have in our program. Mark, tell us about Skyfall.
Oh, yeah. The new addition to the 250 lineup does well in Canada and fits that showcase selections product line. Is 250 7JE 2131 Skyfall. This Bosa son is out of a mat, picture to the right of your screen. That's 87. Then an excellent governor, and then back to the Avon Lee cow. Magnolia's Mischief that I think was intermediate champion at the Royal. Oh, I don't know what year. I'm drawing a blank on that one. But this bull does a lot of things right. I mean, he's a tick on negative on milk here in the States, but you go to Canada, he does a lot. But the 12.9 JUI with a nice bar chart, good calf wellness dollars, A2, positive mastitis resistant pro. Just a bull that I think when the Maury's got a hold of me, I was like, I'm hoping I don't get denied to bring this one in because this one had me excited. And I know the Canadians are all about this bull because he is number 11 for LPI. But he is the number 1 confirmation bull in the top 50 for young bulls up there, the number 2 for foot and legs in the top 50 up there. But best of all, he's the number 1 mammary bull on the top 50 for the young bulls in Canada. So, like I said, he does it pretty much everywhere he can, and I think it's a special bull that will do well here at Select Sires.
And Mark, we've even made some matings to try to make sons out of him for the next generation as a sire father. That over 2,000 LPI with that type and confirmation that he has in Canada. Tremendous opportunity. We don't have a slide on another bull that's coming soon that I'd like to add to our showcase selections. We have a Bontino son, the Australian bull, out of Comet. I drew a blank right there. Out of Comet. That'll be released in May, I think, is when he's released, right, Mark?
Yeah, he's slated for because I just priced him last night. Sorry.
There we go. Yeah. So we have made some additions to our showcase lineup. It's been pretty stagnant, but we're pretty excited about the bulls we've got now. When we talk about all this fertility, it really wouldn't matter, or, none of the genetics matter if we don't have fertility. And I think from everybody at Select, from the people in the barns to Mel in the lab, to our salesmen that bring it, to the distribution people that process it and get those tanks out, our semen quality has to be some of the best. And if you look at industry comparisons, sire conception rate, 5 of the top 5 Jersey bulls in the breed, 7 of the top 10, 12 of the top 20, and 24 of the top 40, Mark. Pretty impressive for the quality of product our people put out.
Yeah, and this is a team effort, that is for sure. There doesn't just us doing this right now doesn't mean anything. We're just the ones that relay the information. They do all the dirty work behind us. So it does really take a team.
If they don't make a quality product, they don't need us to buy bulls and talk about them. But we want to just give you, I know we've gone a little long today, but I want to give you a little bit about our Jersey pipeline. We don't want you to think we're out of good bulls, and we've got some that'll be hitting the sales trucks before our August update, so we thought we'd bring those to you. And the first one's a pretty high Tucker son, Cord. He goes back to the 4 net, That's the Grand Dam that we've talked about earlier. Same family as Cardiff and Chatham and Caliban, Crispin, Callan, all the C's. And he's a bull, though, that's 181 JPI, 1360 of milk, 110 CFP. Just a bull that we've used as a sire father, think the world of, be out a little later this summer from our partners at Jersey Land, made in the Primus program that Tyler runs for the Jersey Land Group out in Hillmar. Mark, tell us about Dynastar.
A little different and had a really good impact from what his sire did. 614-2169 Dynastar, a Stony son from a Thrasher at Valsigna, and then the Steve pictured there to the right of your screen. That's just nothing but a milk wagon. He's 164 JPI, 783 cheese, 761 pounds of milk, and 126 CFP. 6'2 productive life, 5'3 JUI, but like I said, I think this bull benefited mostly from the Zoetis update on Stony. Made him more valuable, in my opinion. At 105 mastitis, so just different. And it's interesting to see a Stony son this late in a proven bull's career still being able to throw high calves as he has in this bull.
Well, that fat percent of 0.20 and 0.08 protein, that's pretty big, and why we're using him as a sire father and the reason he's sexed only. The next bull I'll talk about is 507JE 2163 Clever. He's a Goot son. He's another one of the sea bulls from Primus and Jersey Land, but he's out of the very good Viceroy. So he's an HR bull, 176 JPI, 749 cheese, 284 cell, 0.17 fat, 68 pounds of fat, 103 pounds of CFP, over 1,000 DWP, and right at 10 JUI. Just a really balanced bull that we're excited, HR bull, to have in our program, Mark. And Mark, tell us about the last bull we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, so the last one is a polled bull that we're going to talk about in our sext-only product line is 614JE2103 Guetta, I don't know. Brent, sorry if I hacked the name again. We need descriptions when you send these guys in. But he's a gold son from a Viceroy pictured to the right of your screen from a Lionel, sorry. Got my Holstein term there. But 165 JPI for a polled bull really stands out. If you look at the active AI, it'd be number two polled bull for the breed. 948 of milk, 89 CFP, low somatic cell at 282. Number two productive life bull in the breed at 7.5 on the active list. 1.4 DPR, positive JUI. Just a bull that I think really does a lot of things on top of being pulled. I think we're going to see a lot of this, and I know he's going to get used as a sire father and already has. So look forward to this one down the line.
Well, Mark, as always, it's great to talk these bulls with you. We appreciate everybody tuning in and the ones that watch it later. Andrew Samuelson, thank you for joining us. It's great to talk bulls. Hopefully we can answer a lot of your questions, but if you have any more, please email us, reach out to us on Facebook Messenger. We appreciate the communications team putting this on behind the scenes for us. They do a tremendous job, and appreciate everybody working together as a team at Select Sires, from who you see on the farm every day, delivering the semen, the sales staffs, Select Sires, Generations, Accelerated Genetics, Worldwide Sires around the world. It takes a team, and we're certainly fortunate to have the powerhouse of bulls, the rank we have right now, and products that can be used with diversity. I think that's the great thing about our deep program that we have. And the reason we're able to have such a large program is because of customers like you that have trust in our program. So we appreciate that, Mark. Happy Easter to you and everybody else on the broadcast. Anything you'd like to end with?
No, just thanks for spending the time with us. I know we went a little long this time, but we had a lot to cover. But looking forward to spending the Easter with the family, and wish everyone a happy Easter, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you again, and happy Easter, and we look forward to visiting with you in August.